right, so this video is going to talk about how to keep our chest upright in a squat and why it's important. So the why is where we're going to start. Why it's important to keep our chest forward or our hips lined up in a squat is it means that's when our core is in its strongest position. So our core's strongest position is the front of the hips lined up at the bottom of the ribs. So you could take a finger, put it on the front of your hips, a thumb on the bottom of your ribs, and you want to tuck those hips under so those line up and are nice and straight. And in that position, you should feel your core kind of does this. All the muscles of your abs just kind of go cinching a little like, hey, we could do this. And so we want to maintain that position in a squat. And if I do a body weight squat and I do this, actually all I did was a hinge there. A squat, we have to get our knees and hips moving, and I let my butt stick out, so I'm kind of more in this position. I lost all this. If I touch my core, my abs, everything feels jiggly here. If I tuck that in, and I find that position, and I touch my abs, that stays in a nice position. So we want to make sure we have that integrated into our squat. A lot of times, people can't do it because they can't get their knees past their toes, and that's why squatting in shoes that have a little bit of elevation in the heel can help. Oftentimes, people like to lift barefoot, or even if they have shoes, they're not getting their knees forward. So a couple things we can do to help keep that is turn our toes outward a little bit and throw our hands forward. So now my chest is forward, and I'm going to stop my squat when I can't keep that tightness in my core. So you're right. Probably saying, hey Michelle, that's not very much of a squat. Well, that's what I have if I want to keep my heels down and my core engaged. Something that you can do to help get a little deeper would be to elevate the heels. So this is a plastic lid from a container. Ideally, this would be better with like a couple of books that are about 1 inch thick that just raise my heels up. Or if you have weight plates, you can put weight plates under your heels. And now I'm going to keep that same hip tuck position. Another analogy to use is pretend like you have a giant belt buckle. We want to keep that belt buckle facing forward. Now if I squat down, I keep my chest nice and upright. I feel my core working, I feel my quads working. So getting those heels up so my knees can translate forward. Can also add in some resistance. So if I'm holding this here, my core has to work harder in this goblet form. So I'm going to have the handle up on my face. I'm ripping it apart to keep my upper back engaged. And I'm squatting down, keeping that chest upright and getting more core engagement. Try those and let me know what you think.